So, a couple days ago, from recording this, Chris Hansen did a live stream with a former topic of the video, OnlyUsemeBLADE. Now, I'm going to commentate over some choice clips that I feel like explain things in my video. It's not the whole stream. In fact, this is pretty much clips from about half of it total. If you want to watch Chris Hansen's full stream, it will be in the card above or in the description down below. It'll be probably the first link, either before or after the break of my usual links there. It's worth a watch, and I do recommend you go and watch it first. Pause this video if you haven't seen it. Watch it first. It's about almost 50 minutes. Come back to this. There's some stuff I did not include in this video, and I don't want people to say that I'm taking everything out of context. I included exactly what I thought I needed in this video. The rest of that video, the rest of the stream is really good. Hansen did an amazing job. Chris, if you're somehow watching this, thank you. Thank you for getting him on. I'm going to commentate over a lot of these clips, talk about some stuff, expand things into detail that I know. Like I said before, if you want the full picture of this stream, it is on the Hansen vs. Predators channel, and I recommend you go subscribe. Without further ado, we're going to talk about this. Some clips that I'm going to just quickly mention that I didn't bring up. I'm not bringing up the Ice Poseidon stuff just yet because I don't know too much about that. And there's some stuff that we just kind of cut out here. Now, we'll let Chris Hansen intro everything really quick, so we'll cut to that.
If you've been following the YouTube news, no doubt you know about the case of OnlyUsemeBLADE, a fellow named Brian Rizzo, who has a YouTube channel with more than 500,000 followers. This became very controversial in the last week or so. This group of YouTubers has been on an RV trip, and on this trip, there was some video taken on the cameras there on one of the RVs that some people believe constitutes inappropriate sexual contact. With us tonight, without any further introduction needed, is Blade himself, who is joining me live here on Hansen vs. Predators. Blade, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it. You know the controversy, and I don't have to say much more about it. What's your side of the story here? What happened in that RV?
So we had been streaming all day. We had picked up Gucci's, or she had met us in, I believe, San Francisco.
Right.
We went out to bars. I had a couple drinks. Truth be told, I am a drinker. I'm actually, unfortunately, known on the internet for getting really, really drunk for donations, for views, or whatever, and sometimes doing things, stupid things, when I'm in a drunk stupor. But this day, I really didn't drink that much because Gucci's was performing karaoke. She was being pretty ridiculous. She was really, really, really drunk. I think it was nervousness. We went back on the RV. And while we were back in the RV, she was really sexually aggressive towards everyone on the RV. My friend Bone Clinks, my friend Bjorn. She was really into Bjorn. And there's actually clips of her basically like constantly jumping on top of Bjorn, right, and trying to like make out with him and stuff like that. She tried to pull me into the RV's bathroom for, I don't know what she was trying to do, but I really wasn't trying to be back in the bathroom with her, especially on stream. And I really wasn't interested in her. And so she finally went to the back with Bjorn. I don't know what exactly happened there. Both of them had been drinking pretty heavily. But then Bjorn came back up to the front. We were up there for a while. And then as a joke, I admit saying this is all on stream, I was like, hey, should I go back there and have sex with her? It was clearly a joke. Bjorn went along with the joke, and I was just tired. All I wanted to do was get some sleep. That's a big bed. If you face from the RV looking at the bed, Gucci's is on the left in a blanket. I gather a blanket and I proceed to go to sleep, or at least attempt to go to sleep.
Did you sexually assault or inappropriately touch Gucci's, Jessica?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not touch her in that bed at all.
Blade, it's incredibly hard for anybody to believe you. Even if you actually didn't do it, you did, most likely, like 99% most likely. But it's hard for anyone to believe you when your track record is as awful as it is. Need I remind you, all the shit you've done. There's a lot more. I don't have clips of all of it. If there's a lot of shit you've done, you fucking idiot. Play a little highlight reel, why don't we? Before we lead into the next clip, here's a little highlight reel of all your dumb shit. Little bruises.
Look, you should be honored to get groped by me. Figure it the fuck out, dude. Like, come on, dude. All these fucking Me Too victims, fuck you. You should be honored to be groped by me. You should send me fucking Christmas cards. Seriously, dude. That's retarded, dude. Corinne. I groped Corinne. Ugly ass whore mouth Corinne.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what the fuck? You can't grope me. You broke me on my stream.
Are you serious?
Yes! He broke me on my stream. Now you guys know the truth. Blade is a broker. You know the truth. And the wall.
You got a ring. You got a ring.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Now, when you are at the helm there in the RV, you say, I'm going to, after you talk about having sex with Gucci's, whether you're joking or not, you say, I'm going to go pee.
Hi guys, I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Almost like you're making an excuse to go back there and do what you said you were going to do. How do you explain that?
I mean, honestly, I had to urinate before I went to go sleep. That's honestly what that is. If you watch the tape, you see me go into the bathroom for like probably less than 30 seconds and then come out, and then I go back to the bed to sleep. Now, as I'm doing this, obviously, Bjorn, who I believe it was my chat that he had my little selfie stick set up with the phone and everything. The chat's like, go back and check. And then when he goes back and checks on me, I'm literally attempting to sleep. I think I was back to back with Gucci's. There's video and clips of that. And I literally was just trying to sleep. And then I came out because like I could hear Bjorn talking about he's not doing anything wrong. And I think I went to go talk to him, but then I went back and tried to go back to sleep.
Blade, you must understand why people wouldn't believe you on this. You know, especially the way you say it like that, and then you go back there like really fast after going to the bathroom. You're trying to fool people who aren't going to be fooled easily, you fucking idiot. You know, it's not surprising that you think you get away with something like this because of the kind of person you are, Blade. I know I'm probably saying that in the rudest way possible. The kind of person you are thinks you would get away with something like this. But it's so inherently disgusting. Anybody with a moral conscience, or anybody with conscience in general, would call you out on your fucking bullshit, Blade. This is incredibly disgusting, the way you've done it. Now, we'll get into more because he has more to talk about, so we'll let the clips play out a little bit more. I'll have more commentary as we go through, but I just wanted to bring that little point up there.
There is this one clip where there's 3 windows, and in the middle window is just air blowing in, and so stuff's flying around. I tried to cover Gucci's with a blanket at one point and tried to get back to sleep. And then I believe Bjorn tried to put the camera in there, and I don't think that watching a man sleep is interesting.
A couple of things to note. I can't find this clip where he says the wind's blowing in there really fast and he throws a blanket over. I've not seen a clip like that, so if anybody's seen the clip, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying if anybody's seen the clip, send it to me over Twitter or something, because I've never seen this clip that he's talking about. He says like you can see it. I've not seen this video. I don't know where the fuck it is. But second off, you know, he's going to contradict this in the next clip. I want to bring it up anyways because I'm a nitpicky asshole. There is a form of IRL live streaming, which again, he will bring up, that you watch people and people send in like Texas-based donations that like wake them up and shit. So Blade, what do you mean when you say that people won't find it interesting? People don't want to see a grown man sleeping. Bullshit. There is a community for it. You're even a part of that community. The whole CX community. So, what the fuck are you on about, Blade? Like, I'm so confused.
Oftentimes when us as streamers do what's called sleep streams, it's literally an attempt to bait donations that will play over the speaker to try to wake us up or irritate us. But I'm a heavy sleeper, so I finally said, we've been streaming for like 12 hours a day. I turned off the stream and went to sleep.
By the way, mild tangent here that I'm going to get into. Don't give these people money. There are people that donate hundreds, thousands of dollars to these people. Don't do it. You are feeding their fucking lifestyle. They don't produce anything that would be even worth donating for. You're wasting your money. You could have honestly probably set the money on fire, recorded it, uploaded it, and had more of a use out of it. You would have gotten more of a use out of your money by setting it on fucking fire than you would ever giving it to someone like Blade, or Ice Poseidon, or even Gucci's, or Bjorn, Bone Clink. Any of those fucking people. Doing that is essentially the equivalent of burning it. You're giving it to an alcoholic, you're giving it to presumably a pedophile, or you're giving it to somebody who's notably groped people in the past. You could buy actual shit with that money. You could do so much more with your money than giving it to someone like Blade. You're burning your money the moment you give it to Blade. That's my little tangent before we get on to the next clip, because I already said everything I needed to say about this clip before, a little commentary before this clip, so I wanted to make a little joke and be a little honest. Don't give your money to these kinds of people. They're not providing anything you can't get anywhere else.
Now, there are some people who've watched this video who believe that it shows you on top of Jessica moving around in a sexual manner. How do you respond to that?
I didn't do anything like that. The only time that I got above her was to put a blanket over her because it was freezing, and then went back to try to get in a position to sleep.
Now, maybe I'm just an idiot when it comes to like how human bodies work. But if you throw a blanket over someone, you don't necessarily need to get on top of them. If Blade is saying this correctly, he got on top of Jessica to put the blanket on her. Can we just talk about the logistics of that? You don't need to get on top of somebody to put a blanket over them. So is what he's saying true, and Blade is some good guy who's, you know, gripping onto the blanket and then climbing on top of her, Spider-Manning his way up, and then laying on the other side of the bed? Or is he lying? I will let you decide, because I've made up my mind with the answer. So I know what I think is true with this. I'll let everybody in the comments down below type out what you think he did. Do you think he Spider-Man'd his way up Gucci's in the noble intent to put a blanket on her? Or do you think he didn't do that? We're gonna cut to the next clip, because I have nothing else I can say that won't get me in trouble.
Now, other people question, you know, true YouTubers who have gone over this video over and over and over again, why you were complaining at one point of being cold, yet you walk out of that back room without your shorts on. How do you explain that?
So oftentimes, like when people, especially with the RV cams and the 24/7 cams, a lot of times when I drink in excess, which I didn't do this night, but a lot of times when I drink in excess, I just fall where I fall, sleep on the ground, sleep on a sofa with full clothes. But when I actually like prepare to go to bed, I don't like sleeping with a belt around my shorts and all that other stuff. So I usually take my pants off and take my shirt off and just sleep in my underwear. So that's what I was doing. I was trying to fucking cover up, even though we were in a hot state. We were driving at night and the wind blowing. I was freezing, but I don't really sleep in my clothes when I try to sleep comfortably.
Now, here's the thing. I can understand where Blade is coming from when it comes to sleeping comfortably. I'm one of those ones. If it's cold, I wear maybe pajama pants, possibly a light t-shirt, and in the summertime, it's pretty much just underwear. It's underwear, sometimes a shirt, depending on, like, you know, late August like it is now. But like Blade is saying, you know, it's apparently very cold in the RV. Blade didn't pack like anything related to like pajama clothing or nothing. He's in an RV with how many dudes, and he's only sleeping in his underwear. For a guy like Blade, especially the way he acts, there's no fucking way. There is no fucking way he does not have something more than just underwear. I refuse to believe that he only wears underwear on these kind of trips. I do not believe him. I don't believe him on that. I do believe him that he probably does sleep in his underwear usually to be comfortable, because I can't deny I do the same thing. There's a lot of guys that do the same thing. But, you know, around other people in general, you know, I feel that you should at least have some sort of clothing to wear as like a sleeping attire. When I went on vacation with one of my best friends, Andy, who's also a moderator in my Discord, I did the exact same thing. I packed pajama clothing. You know, sort of light sweats, loose shirts, stuff like that. You know, it's something that I think is just common courtesy. You know, even if you're in an RV full of people who are streamers, especially if you're live streaming, you don't want to get banned. So, I don't know. I don't fully believe him on this. I believe him on the fact that he probably does do that at home, for sure. But the kind of guy that Blade is, there's no way in hell he doesn't have some sort of clothing to protect guys seeing his ass or his junk or anything like that. I don't believe that from a guy like Blade. That's me. I don't know. We're going to cut to the next clip now, so...
Now, a couple days goes by. Actually, let me back up. You were in Reno, Nevada at this point, in the beginning of this
I believe it. I could be wrong, but I believe this so-called incident happened in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, okay. Now, the account that I've read is that somebody was concerned about it and reported it to police. There really wasn't much activity at the time, but later, when the whole caravan got to Colorado, there was some police intervention. Jessica went to the police and complained that she felt that she had been touched or sexually assaulted by you. This is after she apparently looked at some of the videos and was involved in some conversations with other people in the caravan. Why did she go to police and say that she was inappropriately touched or sexually assaulted by you?
So she was in contact with, I don't know if your community knows what doxers or swatters are. She was in constant contact before this RV trip happened with members of teams that literally want to ruin IRL streamers' lives. They call the police on people. They call up shops that we visit to say that we're being inappropriate, smearing poop on stuff, yelling at people.
Okay, so here's the thing. If people are calling saying that you're smearing shit on the walls and stuff, Blade, is there a track record of this? You've had to have at least done it once, because that's kind of a little bold claim for someone just to call in and make up randomly, right? Like, that's a little bold for someone just to be like, they're smearing shit on the walls. You had to have done it once somewhere for someone to call about that. Blade, no. The smartest way to explain why she starts saying that is, these gang of people that call up places and say we're smearing shit on the walls, just said we did a bad thing. It kind of invalidates your argument. You need to go a little more in depth. You shouldn't jump to other people being at fault. You should explain what you've done to Chris, or what has happened to her to Chris, instead of immediately jumping to, these people who call stores and say we rub our feces on the walls and that we're harassing people. Which you do. A lot of IRL streamers harass people. Blade, what are you doing? What are you doing, Blade? You've effectively, one, increase the amount of people that have just made fun of you over the last few days with this whole stream. Two, you've made yourself look more like an egotistical asshole than you did before, which I didn't think could happen. And then this is how you intro defending yourself? Congratulations, you fucked up, Blade. And I don't mean just on the usual fuck-ups that you do. I mean, you fucked up in a different way. We're gonna cut to the next clip. It's a little short, but we're gonna cut to that.
She asked me what's going on? Why are people saying this stuff? And I go, they're trying to ruin my life. And I go, I asked her, did you feel like I inappropriately touched you? Do you feel like you got, like, I hate to use the word, but raped? And she's like, no, I don't feel anything like that. I just went to sleep.
Well, Blade, just because she didn't feel anything in that moment doesn't mean nothing happened. It's a weird, ignorant excuse. You said yourself, even, that you are a heavy sleeper. So what's to say that Gucci's isn't a heavy sleeper? What's to say that she didn't feel it? Admittedly, the way you look, the way you act, you probably don't even have a 3-incher. But, Blade, that's still not an excuse. You know, things happen over time, and as evidence came out, and as maybe she watched more videos, which you do bring up later, she watched videos from people. You know, I'll even play the clip maybe in a little bit when we get to that scene. because I think you bring it up. That doesn't, like, your excuse on it doesn't mean that she still wasn't molested or raped by you. Get it together, Blade. Get it fucking together.
She's a little, I don't want to use the word gullible, but she's very impressionable. So even though she was assured by Bjorn and myself that nothing happened, these other people were making stuff up and in her ear. And she also got intoxicated another night, and she admitted that, unfortunately, like I asked her, I was like, you know, were you raped? Were you touched? And she was like, yeah, I was raped by my father. And I was like, I'm sorry, that's horrific, that's horrible.
Blade, you fucking idiot. This helps your case even less so than you probably think it does. You say, she's gullible, and then you say that you, the person accused of rape, mind you, and fucking Bjorn, a half brain-dead idiot, were trying to convince her that nothing happened. That does not look good on you. You fucking idiot. You say she's gullible, that she's naive, that she believes things, and then you admittedly, openly, in public, on a stream, say that you tried to convince her of something. How big of a fucking idiot are you, Blade? Holy shit. You cannot be this stupid. You cannot be a grown man and be this fucking stupid, can you? Or is fucking cirrhosis of the liver catching up to your fucking head? Blade, do yourself a favor. Shut up while you're ahead. This is only going to look worse on you in the future, dude. God damn. We'll go to the next clip, but holy shit, Blade, you fucking idiot. By the next clip, I'm gonna actually show a little bit of her, because I feel like I want to bring up that one scene again, just so you remember exactly her face when she connected the dots. Just so you know, Blade.
So I can't joke about him raping me, but then he can joke about fucking me while I'm clearly blacked out drunk.
That was a joke, dude. It's a joke. That's what everyone's talking about.
And despite the discussions still growing online about this entire event, the clips of which are now being removed from all sources, Keemstar states he has no big stories to report on. In the end, Blade has still made no explanations, but looking at his previous clips, some context is provided as to how he may feel about things.
It's not rape if they don't have an orgasm. Fuck it.
And okay, I don't think if this shit is like, I don't think I should just be on stream doing this shit. If I'm gonna do something.
Okay, now back to the Chris Hansen interview. Just wanted to put that in there, just so everybody remembered that. Just for preservation's sake in the brain.
When she talked to my boy Bam and Bjorn and Bone Clinks and said, you know what, I got all these people, I don't know what happened, but I got all these people talking in my ear saying that I was either sexually assaulted or raped. Let's go to the police. So Bone Clinks, like any person that would be in a position, believed her and took her to the police, and they filled out a police report. I was in a hotel room for a couple days. I thought that I got ditched off the RV because I was kind of a dickhead on the mushroom trip, and this whole rape allegation, it was just bad news. I thought that maybe I'd just go home. I didn't know if I was going to get back on the RV or not. Bone took Gucci's to the police department, and they filed the report. And they also took my clothing and the bedding, and took that as evidence, and they're going to test that. While I found out about this while I was in the hotel, I felt the need to clear my name. So without a lawyer, I found out from BAM, the police department that they went to. I went there.
In which police department was this, Blade?
Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of it. I could probably find out rather quickly.
Outside of Denver?
No, it was in Denver.
In Denver.
It was in Denver, yes.
And what did you tell the police in Denver?
I spent most of the time explaining what IRL streaming was. And then I had a lot of Reddit clips from IP2. IP2 is a Reddit for IRL live streamers. I took a lot of the clips that basically, her saying I didn't do anything, the clip of me sleeping next to her, The clip of saying that her dad was raped her at one point in her life, and then also showed him Discord messages that she had said where she basically admitted that, you know, she was in the wrong, she had a lot of people in her ear, she didn't know what she was doing, and that she shouldn't have gone to the police in the first place.
So, Blade, you decide to show, for some reason to the police, Reddit clips, which, that's gotta be the most embarrassing day as an officer. Have this drunk idiot saying, oh, hey, look at this subreddit as proof. Gotta be a little embarrassing for your job and your job security. And then you brought up Discord messages, which can be admittedly easily be faked, and that was your excuse, Blade? Dude. Okay, so she goes with evidence. You know, the police have your clothing and shit, and your biggest defense is Reddit. I'm just gonna say this very nicely. If your biggest defense ever is Reddit, you're fucked. You're fucked. No matter who you are, whether you're Blade or anybody, if your biggest defense is a subreddit, you are fucked. Goodbye before you hear Vigel Sucklink. That, god damn, Blade. You are an embarrassment to everybody in your community.
Now, I do admit, I have a severe drinking problem. I've had it for quite some time. It's ruined a lot of relationships. I sometimes black out drunk and say absolutely ridiculous. I'm not a racist, but sometimes I say like the N-word, or I say something super offensive to women when I'm in that mode. Okay,
Blade, here's the thing. There's a difference between when you say the N-word and when someone like iDubbbz says the N-word. iDubbbz is not inherently being malicious with his intent of the word. I'm pretty sure you'd say it sober. Don't fucking lie to Hansen, man. Don't lie to Chris Hansen of all people. But there's a difference in intent between someone like iDubbbz when they use something like the N-word to when you use the N-word, Blade. Or when you use most words when you're drunk. Like, that bitch should be glad I fondled her. There's the difference of intent. Malicious intent. iDubbbz, when he's saying the N-word, is not being malicious. He uses words like cunt and other things like that in a way that disarms them of being malicious. You, Blade, you do shit like this to be malicious. To be this kind of asshole character that you play up. When you're sober, you play it up. But when you're drunk, you let it loose. Blade, nobody believes you on this. Especially when you say awful shit to women and you say the N-word. Nobody believes you on that. You just come off as kind of a fucking prick. Yeah, that's something I wanted to point out there. There's more to this clip. I just want to point out that little segment there.
Did you say, whether you were drunk or not, something to the effect of, have you ever been raped? You should be. Or something to the effect of, you seem rapeable.
There are clips of me saying that. I can't deny that, yes.
And what does that say about you, Blade?
It says I have a fucking sick sense of humor, and I should probably lay off the fucking booze, because I would never say that sober or even tipsy.
Well, Brian, I'm going to play it on repeat here so people can hear it, just so you know what you said.
You've been raped. You've been raped. You've been raped.
Brian, there's a difference between an edgy joke and just being an asshole. And I love a good edgy joke, I really do. But there's a difference when you have a history of shit. I wouldn't, trust Harvey Weinstein to make a groping joke, I wouldn't trust that. That joke comes a little unnerving. It's the same shit with you, Blade. It really is. Nobody trusts you when you say, I was just fucking around, I got a fucked up sense of humor. When you have a track record of shit. I wouldn't trust a pedophile to make a dead baby joke. I wouldn't. I wouldn't trust a groper to make a rape joke either. That's my personal opinion. I don't know. Debate it in the comments. That's the best thing I can say. Debate it in the comments. I'm all for freedom of expression. If there becomes a time where I get a little worried when someone in certain things and fields or past histories are making jokes, I wouldn't trust a child murderer to make a dead baby joke. There's another good one. I wouldn't trust a doctor to make a joke about missing organs or medical malpractice. I wouldn't trust these things. That's just me, Blade. I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. So be it. but you understand why people probably put up a few red flags when you make a joke about rape. I don't know. That's just me.
The police confiscated sheets and clothing from that so-called incident.
From the RV, yeah.
From the RV. Have you heard anything back from investigators involved?
They said it would take a couple of weeks before they would send it back to me. So
let's talk for a minute about this stream where you look like you've been drinking. No secret there. You've talked about that. You're holding a dog.
Okay.
At some point, you toss this dog.
Correct.
And it looks like in the video, it's a pretty aggressive toss. It looks like you're abusing that animal.
Yes.
Why would you do that to an innocent dog? And again, I'll preface this by saying I'm a dog lover. I understand roughhousing with an animal, but this was more than that based upon my viewing of the video a number of times. You threw this dog across the room, and obviously when you do that to a dog, you're going to ignite a storm of backlash there. I mean, for good reason. It's animal abuse.
I have absolutely zero excuse for that. That was fucking horrific. There is a Bjorn. I need you to go away, dude. There is another shot that happened at what's called the IRL house, and there's another shot from a 24/7 cam where you see that the dog goes a couple feet, doesn't make it right. I got suspended on YouTube. I alienated a lot of people. I'm not making any excuses for that. That did happen when I was extremely drunk. I tossed the dog away from me. It's horrific. It's bad, and I apologize profusely for that. After that, I took a break from fucking streaming and the internet because I needed to reevaluate my life. Where if in me being so intoxicated that I would do something like that, that's fucking horrific. And a million apologies. I have no excuses for that.
One thing I do like about this clip here, Blade says, you know, there's no excuses, but he also makes an excuse saying that he was drunk. Which, that's cute, Blade, but I'll give him props on this. At least he understands that he fucked up majorly by throwing a goddamn dog. I'll give him props on that. Immediately he's going to lose those props soon, but yeah, yes, Blade, you fucked up. Yet you keep doing what you're doing, you keep going on the same kind of benders, the same kind of tangents. You say in this stream that you know that if you keep doing this, it will kill you, yet you still keep doing it, Blade. You know, something baffling to me is looking at his career compared to a whole bunch of other COD YouTubers who right now are going through a new renaissance because of Modern Warfare 2019. I think I mentioned it in the previous video, but like Drifters making a comeback, I believe Pro Syndicate's doing stuff as well. Even some of the zombie YouTubers are getting into new Modern Warfare footage because the game looks so fucking good. And it is. It's really good. The kind of renaissance Blade could have had if he hadn't set his career in a toilet and kept flushing until it went down is baffling. It's baffling to me, to anybody who used to watch him. And seeing him go out in this way is depressing as shit. It really is. Blade, you know, you've lost your old fan base. You've gained some of Ice Poseidon's old fans, but that community will fall apart and go after whoever's breaking themselves apart. So it's fickle. And you mentioned it in this stream, I think it's probably a little bit later on in the clips, but you mentioned how you'd rather go back to getting just 100 viewers and streaming games. You could have done that, Blade. You've missed your chance. You've missed your golden fucking ticket, which is Modern Warfare. For what? For being, groping women on live streams, groping Corinne of all people, falling apart, and you end up in Chris Hansen's seat. Congratulations. Is this what you wanted, Blade? Is this your future? It's goddamn pathetic if it is, man. I would rather somebody put me down if I was Blade at this point. I'd rather somebody put me out of my goddamn misery if I had become like this. This is embarrassing, Blade. Now, I don't have really any commentary for this next clip, but I think it's kind of funny, and I feel like Chris Hansen got a few good laughs out of it, so I wanted to show the community here. Like I said before, there was a card at the start, there's a link in the description, and there's going to be an end card at the end to the Chris Hansen stream. Please go watch it, send Chris some love. He did a great job with this.
Now, who's Bjorn, and why was he shooting his mouth off today and threatening me, so to speak.
Do you want to talk to Bjorn?
I'm not that frightened. I don't know that we need to bring him on, but why does he do something like that?
Hello, Chris Hansen.
Bjorn, how are you?
Talk to him.
Hello, Chris Hansen.
Hello, Bjorn, how are you?
I'm doing very good.
Bjorn, he wanted to ask you why you were talking a lot of shit to him today.
Bjorn, you seem to have an issue with me, and all I'm trying to do is do a straight up fair story here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but your last name is Hansen?
Yes, it is.
But that's a Scandinavian name.
It's Danish, actually. I assume Bjorn is too.
He's from Denmark.
I'm from Denmark.
Right. So are my
So
people.
are you fake?
Am I fake? No, I have Danish blood. Hansen.
Are you American or
Yeah.
not American?
I was born here in the United States. But my
but your last name is not American.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for
okay.
Bjorn. Thank you, Bjorn. Now I think I understand a little bit more about Bjorn. Now,
Sorry about it. He's been up all day and he's been drinking a lot. And
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
Well, let's go back.
Thank you, Bjorn. Thank you.
Let's go back to this notion of drinking to get paid for being on YouTube and streaming. Is that your gig? Is that what you do full time? Is that how you survive?
Yeah, unfortunately, I started. Come on, Bjorn. Come on. Unfortunately, I started with gaming, and then I discovered stream. Bjorn, I really need you to leave, dude. Bjorn, this isn't funny, dude. Come on. 1 second. 1 second, Chris.
Sure. All right, we're going to stand by here. We're getting some interest.
I really apologize about that.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep up.
Now, in this clip that's coming up, that clip previously was just something funny I wanted to show. And in this next clip, we're going to see Chris Hansen pretty much just roast the shit out of Blade, and we'll talk about it after.
And I'm one of the few streamers that actually am willing to embarrass myself at this point by drinking for donations. And then it's kind of spiraled out of hand over the last couple of years. So now the image of me on the internet is that I'm a drunk asshole. And if I don't drink,
that works for you?
It's not working for me anymore. That's for fucking sure.
Well, what has this taught you? I mean, again, I don't want to give you a free pass here, but I do want to be fair and let you tell your side of the story. I mean, these are very serious allegations.
Absolutely.
If prosecuted successfully, you could go to prison. We're talking about other instances where live streams show you groping a 17-year-old girl. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that was a complete misunderstanding. I didn't.
I see the video. You grabbed her from behind there.
No, I literally extended my hand to Jasmine and said, "Are you okay?" And she got weirded out by that. I didn't grope her.
Right.
The next, and she doesn't drink, so there's no oh, I don't know what happened. And she's not 17, she was 20 or 19 or 20. And the next day she came on my stream and said, "Yeah, you literally just touched my side," and I freaked out. She didn't know how to handle it. And she went on my stream and admitted that. And then we spent 10 hours together at Mr. G's house, who's a streamer in Hawaii. So that's literally the internet running with that. A lot of people in the Ice Poseidon CX community calls me grope or grope gang or groper, and there's no change in their minds.
Well, Blade, let's look at that clip in question. Here it is now.
I did not. My brother did. I wasn't there. Yeah. Philip. What are you?
All right. Hang on, Wyatt. Hang on. Are you okay?
Mm-hmm. I'm good.
That's what we did.
You look like a fucking creepy weirdo in this video, man. And I don't believe you when you say shit like, "Oh, we talked it out, we hashed it out later, she said it was fine, I just touched her side." Blade, you at the very least look fucking creepy here, dude. There's no denying that. Also, yeah, you do come off as a massive drunk asshole, and it shouldn't have been working for you in the first place. But that's what your career is now, Blade. That's what you wanted. You wanted this. Are you not happy when, you're finally lying in the bed you fucking made, Blade?
Right. Well, why is it, for instance, a longtime viewer listener asks that the legend, quote unquote, shrill farter had your Streamlabs account banned for misconduct? How do you explain that?
Who knows if Shrill Farter actually did that. I remember a couple months ago I banned Shrill Farter because he was being super negative in my chat and said that this is war. My Streamlabs, Bjorn Streamlabs, the RV Trip Streamlabs were all falsely attacked. I've never broken terms of service as far as using Streamlabs as a way to make money. And then also Bjorn and Bone, who's a very wholesome streamer. Bjorn, if you don't get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, Bjorn, seriously, dude. Their actual PayPals were banned as well. And we've had threats from people saying, we're going to ban your PayPal, we're going to ban your Streamlabs, we're going to ban everything that you guys got. And it's just small people from a toxic community that watch the IRL streams.
Blade, you integrated yourself into this community. Believe me, it's not like it wasn't public knowledge that this community was kind of full of shitty people before you came into it, Blade. You'd have to be a goddamn moron to think that these people weren't existing before you decided to join this community. You have no excuse. There's tons of evidence online of the IRL community being full of shitheads. In every form. The donators, the commenters, the community around it in general, the streamers themselves. Blade, if you had a sense of right and wrong, or a sense of knowing shit that's going on, you would have understood that, maybe integrating myself with this community, not the best thing for me in the long term. Instead, what did you do, Blade? You integrated yourself with the community. You are an idiot. The sympathy for you is slim to none because of all the shit you've done. And this community is just egging you on to do it more, Blade. You are playing into their hand and they're playing into yours because you're both idiots. Blade, the smartest thing you could do would be to get away from this community, but you won't because you are a fucking moron. You are a mouth breather. It's embarrassing how stupid you are, Blade. Anyways, we got some more clips here, so I want to get through these for you.
When I teamed up with Ice Poseidon, like when he invited me out to Florida, I believe in summer of last year, it was an influx. Now there were more viewers. I went from 100 viewers to 4,000 viewers, and that's great. But in all honesty, I wish I could go back to before that, because with that many more people, there is a huge army of people that just want to see you get hit by a train. They want to see you end up in the hospital. They want to see you hurt. And it's not all of them. Majority of them just want to be entertained and watch and see how things unfold between people. But there is a large army of people that, like, my phone, like if I turn my phone off airplane mode, my number's been leaked. I went to Verizon Wireless and I asked them how. They said I had over 9,000 non-contact phone calls in the last month from people that just constantly want to bother me.
So that's what I have to look forward to by having you on the show, huh?
No, I'm not linking your number.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
You can find anything if they're diligent enough.
Blade, here's the most sympathetic thing I'm going to say to you if you were watching this. You could easily change your content back. Again, Call of Duty's going through a renaissance. A ton of people that were around when you started, when you got big, are coming back and doing Modern Warfare. You could easily change your content to something that will get you views, something that will get you the more sympathetic community. You've legitimately made your bed. You could get out of it. Right now you're fucking rolling around in it. Blade, it's embarrassing. The fact that everyone around you, who all tanked off around the same time you did, are coming back and seeing the kind of views they used to see because people are excited for Modern Warfare 2019. And seeing you get drunk off your ass and pissing in hotels. Oh yeah, that's a clip, by the way. I have to censor your cock and balls, but here's a clip we're gonna play. Yeah, that was actually Blade pissing inside a hotel room. Blade, you need to work out, get rid of the gunt, stop drinking booze, and just sort your fucking, as your catchphrase, figure it out, little bruises. Figure it the fuck out. You haven't figured out shit. You're gonna die from cirrhosis of the liver before I turn 25, Blade. Sort your fucking life out. Anyways, we're gonna get on to the next clip. I'm being a little too preachy. Let's continue.
And what about the drinking thing? You don't seem inebriated now or under the influence.
I'm completely sober now, yeah.
What's the future hold for you?
Well, recently, so since the dog incident, some people reached out and they're like, dude, you got to get to the hospital, bro. Like, you got to take care of your health because you're either always drunk on stream or you're hungover and hating life. You need, and like, I also smoke cigarettes. I don't exercise enough. So we went to the hospital and it was kind of amazing. They actually said that my liver and kidneys were completely fine. But I do have high blood pressure. Ever since then, I used to drink a Jägermeister. That used to be my only alcoholic drink I would drink. And ever since giving that up, I still have a drinking problem. I'm not trying to fucking push that to the side, but try to, do beers or do vodka or do clear liquids and not the dark, heavy stuff that gets me out of my mind, blacked out drunk on the internet. I'm working on it. I still do have a drinking problem. That's completely evident. But I don't go through withdrawals from not drinking. I'm trying to be healthier and I'm trying to figure out what my next move in life is, because if I were to continue doing this where I get absolutely blacked out drunk all the time for entertainment for like 4,000 people, I'll die in a year. So definitely have some life stuff I got to deal with.
I love the irony of that quote after the video we just saw like a minute ago. Blade, you clearly didn't do shit after this. You lied to Chris Hansen's fucking face. That's bold. That's really fucking bold to do. You got so fucking pissed that you end up pissing inside a goddamn hotel room. Blade, you're a liar. That's really what you are. You're a liar. You have no plans on changing. You have no plans on growing up, actually getting out of the cycle that you're still in. You have no plans to change. And anybody who believes you is gullible. Do yourself a big favor. Leave the RV tour. Don't look at alcohol for about maybe a year. Maybe get back into streaming games. That would be better for you. Maybe don't grope women as well. That's a good suggestion for life. Don't grope women. Don't grope anybody. Unless they want to be groped and they say it on purpose and it's a part of a sexual thing. Kind of like BDSM, stuff like that. Don't tie up random women. Tie up women who want to be tied up purposely with that kind of thing. I totally didn't make that sound awkward. I'm gonna just cut to the next clip.
Hey Blade, it's Vince. How you doing?
Hey Vince, nice to hear you again.
Same here. Listen, there's a lot of questions coming in, but they're pretty repetitive, so I'm just gonna get down to it.
Okay.
Are you afraid or nervous of what the outcome may be if the police come by and say they found evidence of a sexual assault?
The question being, Blade, are you anxious that this case may turn on you and that you may be prosecuted?
I'm 100%. I know I'm not going to get prosecuted. I am anxious for them to look at all the evidence and the DNA to prove me innocent. Like I'm 100% innocent. I'm playing it from day one. I am not nervous about the police doing anything. They're doing their job. They have to do it, but I'm not nervous at all about it.
And what about the DNA? If there is DNA and it's found to be yours, is there an explanation how that would have gotten there?
Not on her. I've never touched her besides a hug. There was, when we got to Colorado, there was a time when everyone ventured off and we were having issues with the RV. And I admit I'm a male and I pleasured myself solo, no one else around, in the privacy of the RV. So there might be some like DNA evidence of that, like on like a blanket or something, but nothing having to do with.
Did you tell the police about that?
Yes.
So that's the only way there would be your DNA
in the RV or on the bed. Anyway. Yeah, but they did the little swabs where they get like the four corners of my mouth, and they pulled some blood from me. So they got my DNA samples that I was
and
more than happy to give to them.
You consented to that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Now, Blade, what kind of grown man jacks off on a sheet? Come the fuck on, man. Grab a Kleenex or something beforehand. That's fucking disgusting, dude. You know, blowing your load on the sheets of all things. You know, people fucking sleep on that shit, man. You sleep on that shit. Why would you do that? I can understand, like, a nocturnal emission, you know, something that happens while you sleep. But why are you fucking cranking one out on the sheets of all things? It's incredibly disgusting. Like, not just for, you know, the fact that you probably actually, like, whacked off onto Gucci's and, you know, probably finished on her ass or something. But it's incredibly disgusting to just nut on the sheets you're going to sleep on. God damn, man. Grab a Kleenex. Grab some toilet paper, paper towel, anything. Hell, even a sock at that point would be a little less disgusting. Blade, what is wrong with you? You're a grown goddamn man. You should know better than this shit. Yeah, you're a fucking big boy, too. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this, Guns. Blade, what are you doing, dude? What the fuck are you doing? Why would you want to live like this? Why would you want to nut on sheets and then have to explain to the police that you came on your goddamn sheets? I'd be embarrassed. I'd be ashamed saying that to a police officer. I'd be completely ashamed. Then again, I have a moral compass. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, Blade. Anyways, to the next clip.
All right,
Vincent?
Blade, Frank Thomas wants to know, did you ask Gucci's if how it feels to be raped?
Did you ask Gucci's Jessica how it feels to be raped?
Off of 7 grams of mushrooms, I brought up to Gucci's. I'm reiterated the fact because she had admitted that she had been raped by her father. I had asked her, was it worth it to be on the internet to just say that you were a rape victim? I said that after 7 grams of mushrooms when I thought I was out of my mind. That's a fucked up thing to say to somebody, but yes, I did say that.
But there is circumstantial evidence here that does not look good for you, Blade.
Of course.
I mean, the DNA, your own statements, the video, your past talk about rape, some violence after you've been drinking. Were you drinking that night?
I had a couple drinks at the bar, but when Gucci's was kind of being a handful, I kind of cut myself off because we needed to get her back to the RV. We needed to get her off the streets because she was going to get a public intoxication. Like, she was taking sips of water and spitting on strangers and just talking crazy to people. And to be honest with you, my friends, the fellow guys, when Gucci's was acting really, really, really drunk, not just like drunk, but like intoxicated out of her mind, they looked at me, they're like, dude, this is what we have to deal with you when you get to that level. So we played babysitter and got her back to the RV, and then everything that we talked about earlier happened. So,
Blade, is it not a warning sign for you that when this, when Gucci's is acting like an asshole in public, when acting very clearly drunk and saying, this is what we have to deal with you, is that not like some big fucking like red flag, like warning sign in your brain? Or is it just rotted from all the booze? It's got to be at this point. There's no way you can be this much of a fucking idiot, Blade. But you also say that, I brought this up to her when I was on, like this amount of mushrooms. Which is just a fucking excuse, Blade. You need to stop making excuses for yourself and own up to your goddamn mistakes. You don't own up to any of them. You always say like, oh, I was drinking that night, or oh, I was on mushrooms the entire time. That's not an excuse, Blade. That's not an excuse. You are a grown man. Drugs or not, you should be able to accept responsibility without blaming something else. If you were high or not, you would have asked fucking Gucci's any of that shit. Shrooms or not, booze or not, you would have done it. You know it. I know it. Everybody fucking knows it. Because you're just kind of a prick. And it's baffling how you just won't fucking own up to your mistakes like a normal person would. I don't know. We got a couple more clips here, so we're gonna try to power through these. I've been recording this over a day because I've been kind of busy and work and shit, so You can hear various quality of audio and all that, just so you know. Anyways, next clip.
I'm going to ask you one last question here, and then we'll take a look at some other questions from the audience. But what is the single most important thing you can say in your defense?
I'm innocent. Like there's literally low quality clips that people can maybe misguide or construed or whatever, and then my unfortunate statement of making a rape joke, which is absolutely fucking horrific. No one should make rape jokes. Like I'm a jokester. I have a very dark sense of humor, but I'm obviously not going to make rape jokes in the fucking future because like that put me in this position where people could actually question me when I'm just going to sleep in an RV to possibly sexual assault, and I'm not about that.
Blade, you're dumb. Your defense is very weak. You're talking to fucking Chris Hansen, of all people, who has heard every single story in the book as a defense. The man's hosted To Catch a Predator shit, where they say, oh, I'm just coming in to talk or to tell her this is a bad idea. Your defense is worse than a goddamn pedophile's. Holy shit, Blade. Holy shit. I'm baffled. I'm fucking baffled by how you don't even try to come up with something, like anything else. A better explanation with it. Your explanation is horseshit. Again, you're talking to Chris Hansen. A good explanation of something would be a proper defense or anything. Your defense is, I'm innocent, and I'll never make rape jokes again, because that made people think that when I was going to sleep that I was raping her. It's also the fact that you've groped multiple women, you groped Corinne, you groped fucking a whole bunch of women. And Blade, you fucked up multiple times. That's why people believe you'd do rape. That's why people believe you'd rape somebody. Not because you made a joke a couple times. A couple edgy jokes is nothing. But when you have a track record of, like, grabbing women on the tit and the ass, people are going to think that you're willing to do more. That's not entirely unreasonable to think, Blade. You have to be an idiot to think that people are not taking your previous actions into account. And it's not like these actions aren't public. They're everywhere. Blade, you are dumb. Please stop. Just stop. The whole shit. Just stop. Now we're gonna bring up a clip that's kind of a meme before we get to our last clip, which is just a little heartwarming clip for Chris. But we're gonna show something that I don't think people knew the context of, and I do. So I'm gonna show the clip.
Vincent, anything else? We'll take one more from the audience here.
Yeah, it seems like you have an associate named Benjamin, possibly, and audience wants to know what he means by it depends on the girl for the age of consent.
There's a fellow named Benjamin who apparently is an associate of yours in this community who...
I don't know any Benjamins.
No, so. Benjamin. Talking about the age of consent and...
No, I'm 36 years old.
That's not what it is.
I'm 36 years old, and I'm not interested in young girls, so that's, like, of all the horrible things that people have said to me, there's nothing they could say where I, like, go for an underage girl. That's horrific, and no, so...
The person they're talking about in the clip is referring to Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad. Sargon of Akkad. If you know about him, you can find some interesting things about his theories on the age of consent. You know, it really does depend on the child. I'm gonna roll a couple of clips, one from him talking to some guy who I don't know, and another on the kill stream where he's talking to a YouTuber, Mr. Mediker. And I'm gonna roll those.
I was well under the age of 11 when I started having sex, and so what I like to do is put people on the other side of the argument. It's like, what you have to do is you have to say that someone like me, not anybody else, but me, that I was too stupid to appreciate the nature and quality of what I was doing at the time. So please convince me I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I think it's it depends on the child, really, doesn't it? Because some kids.
That's what the Catholics say.
Well, it's true, and it's true though. It should really be a case by case basis. But I can see why the whole thing. But it's not really something I'd ever put too much thought into, to be honest.
Depends on the child, doesn't it, Carl?
Okay, Jim. Yeah,
Does it depend on the child, Carl? Does it depend on the child? It's all by case basis. So you're cool. It's case by case basis. We get you, champ. We know what you're talking about.
Jim, it is scientifically verifiable that people hit puberty on a case by case.
Oh no! Please tell me about your ingenious ideas about 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds having sex. You're so smart. You're so smart, Carl.
Sargon might be a topic for a channel one day just because of how entirely exceptional he is. He's a really smart man, you know? Really big brain fucking shit. That's down the road. I might talk about Sargon eventually. Now, for the last clip we're going to play of the day, I'll talk about it after, but I'm going to just let it play out.
You know,
absolutely. Can I also say that
please do.
I still am. When you did your shows, I used to love watch them, and I personally hate, like, I have a mother and a sister. If anybody ever touched them, I would probably be in jail for fucking them up. I really appreciate what you did as far as catching sexual predators. I never thought I'd be taking a seat to talk to you about this, but I really do appreciate what you did in the past.
Well, I appreciate that. And I should say there's more to come on that too. We'll be out in the field in the next couple weeks. But
Blade, if someone touched your mother, your sister, your cousin, the way you touched Corinne, the way you touched a lot of women, would you beat the shit out of you? That's a good question to ask you, Blade. Would you do the same shit that you just promised pretty much to, like, Chris Hansen, that you do to somebody if they touch your mom? Or your sister or your cousin or whatever? What would you do? What would you do if they did the same, like someone did the same thing that you did to Corinne, you did to one dude's camera girl, what you did to Gucci's? Would you do that? I don't believe you, Blade. I don't believe you when you say that you would do something. You know, people like you like to run your fucking mouth all the time, Blade. But you wouldn't do shit. I know people like you. All you are is a fat piece of shit who has an ego the size, surprisingly, of someone who's like a fucking supermodel. But won't be able to get his fat ass out of there to actually do it. Blade, you're pathetic. You're sad, and you're pathetic. With that comes the end of the video. This is the longest video I've ever put on a channel that's not a live stream. This was a little bit of an effort. I also didn't even use I used only like 20 minutes of the footage from the Hansen stream. Which, by the way, there will be a link at the end card to the Hansen stream. Go watch it. It was pretty good. But, you know, I had a good time watching it. Hansen ribbed him pretty hard sometimes. I thought he was going to softball him, if I'm going to be honest. But I'm excited to see what he's going to do about Ice Poseidon. I'm still looking into all that shit. But I think I might just... I don't know what I'll do about Ice Poseidon. I've had some people ask me if I'm going to do anything about Onision and Sarah, which that's something I'm kind of waiting for everything to die down a little bit, then go through. Just because I feel like if I shoot my shot on this a little too early, I know I'll fuck it up. I know I will. With that, as we wrap it up, I do want to say I'm working on a couple film reviews. The first one, I've recorded the audio, but I need to add some stuff to that audio. There probably will be a little something for $10 patrons for this episode, by the way. I don't know. I still have not recorded that. Speaking of patrons, now we get to the Patreon rewards part of the episode. Now, with the $10 donation, we have Fee. With the $4.99 donation, we have Aslan. And with our $1 donations, we have Charlie, Sydney, Luana, Ocean Eyes, Stephen Mayer, Sid, The Bean of England, and Typhoid Turntable. There's going to be more content coming soon, especially because I'm doing film reviews as well. I'll also probably end up live streaming either Gears of War 5 or some other game this month, either on YouTube or on Twitch. I'm thinking about streaming more on Twitch, just so that way people can, like, watch me stream games. It all depends on how people feel about it. But film reviews are coming soon. One of them is the original version of something, and the other's a remake. I really want to give the original a lot more due diligence. because I feel like it's more important as a film. So yeah. This was me doing a review on a live stream, and I don't know if I'll do videos like this again, in this format, but it was interesting. Anyways, have a good night, everybody. Take it easy. This video's gone on for long enough at this point. Go watch my Hansen vs. Predator live stream. I cut out 20 minutes of it. About 20 whole minutes. So you missed half of it. Go watch it. Link down below. Link at the end screen. There was a link at the beginning. Have a good night. Take it easy. Love you, Chris Hansen. Peace out.